My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. Well, come back again to record the next part of this series, and as I said the last time, we're going to kind of rough it out this time around. And as you see, it's like there's just a lot of saw marks on here and in the wood, and there's just a time when sometimes it can be easier to shave them than it can be to sand them. So we kind of work on that little part here a little bit. And I'll tell you about one day I was in my wood carvers guild, and one lady just thought this was neat, coming up with this kind of little of a cat pattern, you know. I've always loved to draw pictures ever since I was a little boy, and you know, it just so happened that over time, probably would say I might have learned a little bit more and probably just got to where there were some things probably could handle a little better, you know. And so finally it got to where I got so much better with the knife and all, and following other people's carving patterns, and finally came up with a way to come up with my own carving patterns. So that was just a neat little way went about this little hobby here. I'll tell y'all that there comes little times when we're going to try to kind of get down to the little bit of the dadgum chin of the cat. And you see, we already kind of removed some saw marks from the front of the legs. Kind of got to get a little bit to this part as well. Kind of get rid of a little bit of extra shaving and stuff. To heck all this, people. It's just kind of one little thing, you know, comes right after another. Got to shave things away on the little nostril area, or the little nose, or the muzzle. And I tell y'all something, people, there's so much to kind of find out about kitty cats over time. So much to kind of learn about them. And I'd say there's probably a little extra wood saw marks here on the back of the tail, and kind of move along there as well. Sometimes, just sometimes, you know, there comes a point when you ought to sharpen the knives. I mean, I've been told when you're sawing with your knife, you're doing it all wrong. That's how it was when I first started carving, and sometimes with me, there's just some things some of us probably never learn. I mean, I still do it sometimes, and sometimes I think from what I understood, sometimes it's really not good for the knife when you kind of use it as a saw when you carve, because that kind of just does it in a little bit, makes it so it gets a little strange indeed. And sometimes I tell y'all that for things we learn over time, many of the carvers I knew, they're already passed away now, but we kind of have little ways we work with things and make things come out so decently new. I tell y'all that sometimes when it comes down to where we get a little work right in, there's just a place where we're getting it all shaved off as it probably needs to be. So with that being said, so much roughing and stuff to do. Might even just have a moment when we'll kind of take things to another dadgum extreme and see where they lead us to. So all this messy stuff with this sinking wood, I say that it's just removing little spots we can just freaking do without. So, come down to it, I think we got it in good shape on the sides, because it's not that bad to begin with on the sides, since it was a smooth piece of wood we cut this from. And sometimes, just sometimes, even with a little project like this, there's no telling what kind of little thing you're going to start out with. But coming on here, kind of move things along to where we get the little trashy piece out of the heck to this project, and done with all the little dadgum things we do. I say, little projects that come in our minds, they show us the piece we do without, and to heck with all this, I tell y'all, it's just going to be a way to go. You can start with any grit of sandpaper on a project like this, just depending on what you're doing. And sometimes, just sometimes, they say it's best to start out with the roughest grit first. There is a little piece of whiteout we need to remove along here, so got to take care of that. So with that in mind, got to take things around, take care of what we got, see what we have here, see what it is, maybe just move things along to where we just hear little thoughts of strange ideas. And come down to this, I say, we're going to have a little bit of a work to do with all this stuff, and come down where we can just make it to where we're going to have a little sanding to do, and it's going to make the kitty cat turn out good and fine. And maybe on this other side we got a little bit of a patch of white out too we have to remove, and sand the bottom side underneath too. And come along, we'll just have little works we have in mind here, and seeing if we can just kind of maybe find an 80 grit, which we did. We can move it along here, kind of take a little off the edges here, removing all the wood from all around, and kind of smooth things down to where it's going to be a nice little kitty cat for the help of a lot of, people that have just really kind of tiring times, and, all the little things we make of these things. I say wood is a good substance to use, and it's one that has kind of a sensory feel to me. You talk about Old Tool Girl's Garage, Sarah Listy. She talks about how she has ADHD and how just a little bit of tool work, just what it can kind of do. We got down to a 120 grit this time, and got to remove a little bit of extra from that. Kind of get the little wood inside just to flow with a little extra sanding and carpentry work. It's just a time when we just got the wood right in the place where we just need it really to be, and everything is just coming in so fine, taking care of little habbages of ways that we know are best for the working world. And with this one thing, come down to a 180 grit as well, and that's gonna kind of get it a little smoother than before. There are smoother grits you use as you go dadgum along, And heck to all this bull. I say, people are just crazy, crappy people and all, with all the little stuff they just freaking do all the time. I say, it's just kind of with all the things we have, all the stuff we do, and all the little work that comes into what we really, really ought to have to make. So there's just more things where we get down to a 240 grit. That is going to be the final grit we use here, and get it all sanded out smooth and nice to where we just see that it's going to be a little black Tomcat for a good display, and sometimes just working a little magic here. All the wood in the world can just light up a little God community. I say, just happen to be the works of our hands, making all things good. And there's probably things to show as we go further along, as far as how we put the label underneath, and with all things I could show. With the older one I have, there's a place where a label goes under the underneath and gets laminated with super glue before it goes into soak. So I say, with what we all got to work on, we got to have a real fancy way to do here. So don't know even where that other one went, but you know, with all the things we have just kind of disappearing around us all the time, we don't know just about where anything goes. So I'm just happy to show you all what's here, what we're doing, what we have, and hopefully you all can have a great rest of the day, rest of your evening, or whatever it is in your part of the world. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.